Well, pardon the mess on my workbench. I'm going to make a brief video on beer bottle tiki torch. Here's two of them right here. Obviously one of them burning. I do not support any particular brand of beer. It can be done with Coke bottles just as well as other bottles. I can tell you though, with these beer bottles, the process is trivial. There's a number of other videos out there on making tiki torches, citronella torches out of beer bottles. This one is just to keep it simple approach. Literally 2 bottles in this case. We're using 1/2 inch by 1/4 inch. In this case we're using galvanized steel bushings. You know, if you want a little different look, you could certainly use a brass 1/2 inch by 1/4 inch bushing. These bushings do not fit down in the top of the bottle as is. So I take it over to my bench grinder and basically just grind the threads off. Just grind the threads off is enough to get it to fit down in the bottle. So just using my bench grinder, grinding off the threads. Because you're grinding the threads, they grind pretty quickly. That literally takes a minute each to get these things ground down. Once they're ground down, and of course you just take a tiki torch wick, which I bought in packets of 2 from my local hardware store in the garden section, and you just basically shove them into the bushing, fill the bottle with citronella oil, drop it in, you're good to go. Couple things on the citronella oil: do not fill it above basically the bottom of the neck, as once you add the wick, it'll displace the liquid up a ways. You really don't want the liquid up too high. Right now this bottle here is very cool, but as you get close to the top, this metal is transferring heat to the bottle, and so it can be a little bit warm up here. You really don't want your citronella oil getting warm. It'll cause a vapor pressure in the bottle, and it'll kind of push more flame out than you necessarily want. You can see here the level on this one is here. The level on this one's right here. Citronella oil available at the same place you get your wicks. And in my case, it's available the same place I got my wicks, as well as where I got my fittings. Again, brass might look different anyway, maybe prettier depending on how you feel about it. One other thing I did was, after grinding off the threads, getting it to fit down comfortably into the top of the bottle, I wrapped a small amount of Teflon tape on there, and it just helps. It's not a perfect grind, it's not perfectly round, so it just helps give you a little seal. Not that that's a big deal. I think we're going to get some beer cans, cut the bottoms out, and make some caps just to slide down over these. These particular ones are for a friend of mine, and we're going to get some of the plastic and styrofoam koozies that are made to fit beer bottles, and we're going to screw them into the handrail of his deck, so then we can just go around, stick the bottle in the koozie, light it up, and you're good to go. Get done, we'll stick the metal can over the top and put it out, extinguish it, and leave it sit. Or if you want to take them in, then we'll just lift them up out of the koozie and take them in the house to protect them from the weather. So shouldn't be much problem once the metal can's on top. It'll keep the rain out. It does take a minute once you stick this wick down into the bottle. This one you can say I haven't wrapped Teflon tape on yet, but once you stick it down into the bottle, it should draw. You gotta wait for it to draw the fuel up the wick, but if you're fairly full here, it just takes a matter of a couple of minutes, and you're there, and then it's just that easy. They light well. They've got fuel to the tip, and then of course you can adjust their height depending on how high a burn you want, and that's it. But keep it simple: 1/2 inch by 1/4 inch bushing, a wick. These are fiberglass wicks, which we think will hold up very well. We want that, and then just a little Teflon tape around the edge of them, and a lot of that's really just to minimize the amount of heat transfer to the bottle. But the bottle will get hot at the top. Do not fool yourself. I mean, here it's quite comfortable, but when you get about to this, about up to this ring right here, you'll see you can't touch it. It's pretty warm. So that's just something to consider safety-wise. Keep your fluid down below the bottom of the neck so that your fluid doesn't get too hot. That's it. Have fun and keep the mosquitoes away.